Hey folks, it is the Nutty Knife Guy. It's Wednesday, not Sunday. I got up early a little bit and had good weather and had time, and hopefully the house will remain quiet long enough for me to do a video. But real quick, before I do the video, I just want to say this. I have another novel other than the Fireteam Alpha series that I talk about a lot, called Seventh Blessed Warrior Book 1, that had a publisher, and then I had a falling out with that publisher, and I got my rights back from that publisher, and it is now a self-published ebook. I don't have a paperback out yet. That takes some format, pardon me for any ambient voices you may hear. But I don't really have the skills to format a paperback. I'm working on it. I'm trying to teach myself. But I do have an ebook. I'm going to move you over just a little bit. And right now, this is not a contest or anything like that. I am just kind of priming the pump. And right now, you can go to Amazon and download an electronic copy of it in the Kindle format for free. So if you like urban fantasy and people killing demons with swords, this might be the way for you. I'm going to put a link in the description to go get it. You just click download and it will download, and you can read it on your computer or your tablet or your Kindle or whatever, and like no strings attached. But you didn't come to hear about that. You came to hear about a knife. You came to hear about the Hector by Forseti Steel. Right? And here she is. Is she not gorgeous? Not overly embellished, but elegant and beautiful. So, she is a sub-hilt, of course. The sub-hilt and the guard are chrome. Peened buffalo horn handle. And just overall beautiful. Got a nice little belly here. It came very sharp. The point is needle sharp. We'll do some testing here. That was folded over. It wasn't fair. But I have not touched the edge on this. So it is nice and sharp. Feels great in the hand. I would like a little bit more of a handle here, a little bit more length on the handle, but that's a personal preference. It is very wieldable, easy to manipulate, and I so far really love it, and we're going to put it to the post today. I do not have a water bottle to cut because all of the hostile detergent bottles that I usually use have been dealt with, and they have yet to send reinforcements. So I have a cardboard box. I have a piece of cardboard here. This is the tube that my APOC survival cutlass came in, and it's thick. Alright, so we're going to cut this right here in lieu of the water bottle. And you can see that it went through, and we are going to see how far it went through. I'm going to get a thinner knife because that cut is that knife is sharp. So let's see. I guess you're not going to be able to see that through here that way. But anyway, as I said, I kind of did this impromptu. I'm not very prepared for this, but we're going to do another cut. I've used this to test other knives, so you can see that's a nice thick piece of cardboard. And then we'll try that. I'll try getting my cold steel kudu through that cut. Yeah, there. Can you see that? No, you can't. Let's see if I can get it in there. So you can see that it pierced it. Maybe I should use a flashlight. will work a little bit better. There. So it cuts through that. That's pretty thick. And there are other ones that didn't quite go through. But this is a really thick piece of cardboard, and it's not exactly the ideal. But I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get a video in this week, next week, because vacations and things. So I might be able to do one, and I might not be. So I wanted to get this in because I really wanted to show you guys this. So we'll go out to the war post and put her through a paces, but I think that this thing, other than the water bottle, might be a better test of a water bottle, because this thing is rather tough. I'm going to save this for other testing, but give you another really good look at it because she is so pretty. Forseti, still, if you're listening, if you would scale this up, give me about 1.5 inches, 2 inches on the blade, and another inch on the handle, you'd have a real winner. And I would buy that in a heartbeat, just so you know. And now, war post. We're going to do the 4-foot drop test developed by D-Bad. That's a pretty nice stick. And this is kind of a handle heavy blade, which for fighting knife I don't care. I don't really mind. But that rang kind of true. Thought that was going to drop. Try that again. Okay, it's not biting very well. Now, full disclosure, I tried this before, and I dropped it onto concrete and kind of blemished the horn handle. It does have a horn handle, by the way. And this is, if I remember right, 256 layers of steel, 1095 and L something or other steel. I'll call that up maybe and let you know. Okay, I'm not going to do the hard downward throws, because if it falls off in his, well, I better, in the interest of testing. And it's biting pretty well. Now, doing this before, I did develop a bit of a burr on the edge of the blade, but this thing came absolutely needle sharp, and I just knocked that burr off with my thumb. And you can see this is a little bit handle heavy, but the bite's not fantastic, but that has to do with the geometry of the blade, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I'm not getting any tip damage whatsoever. And when I'm thinking about it, because this is not a normal video, and sorry for the background noise, it does come with a very nice leather sheath, very well made, double stitched, thick leather, has the smell. The only thing I don't like about it is in the photos of this you get, and as I said, this is all handmade, so they even tell you that it's not going, the knife you get is not going to be exactly like any of the photos, because this is not turned out on an assembly line, or at least not a mechanical assembly line. And evidently the same is for the sheath, because the sheath that they showed had a guard that came from here and looped over the, a strap that looped over the guard, which I would prefer if it came over this way. I don't like the way this retention strap does this, because when you put the knife in it, but the knife does fit very well, and it's got good friction hold. What I don't like about it is when you get the knife in there and snapped, it'll slide over. It can slide over like this and like this, and can move when you try to unsnap it. They call this a fighting knife. You have to deploy quickly. That ain't making it. So I will probably have an aftermarket sheath made for this. But other than that, it's cool. I talked about the blade geometry on the bite. And see, I have to fiddle with this snap to get it out. It's got this really nice and thin false edge that runs all the way to the tip. And then it's got this still very sharp. It was like even after that burr came off, because the needle, it was so sharp, it's still very pointy. But because it has a strong tip that stays thin, I think that's why it's not getting so much bite, because it's going to come, it comes in and out easily, which is not a bad thing if you're sticking it into a Lizardman Zombie Ninja, because we all know how dangerous Lizardman Zombie Ninjas are. So there's that, and we'll go take care of the war post. Okay, I didn't delete enough of an SD card, so I deleted it once, and evidently I didn't delete all the files I had on there and I'd forgotten about, so hard wax. And some hard thrusts. Now I know I already did this on the stool, but the thing of it is, on a target that moves, you test torque in a different way on the tip, because you're not going to get a perfect stab on anything that's not moving. Like I said, I did get a burr on the tip, and I got you a little crooked when I had to erase the camera, but that's gone now. That was just because it was so needle sharp, and all of that with no edge roll. Let me get my stick here. I'm going to go out on a hike hopefully this week and just pick up a couple of sticks to do this with, because this one's getting quite old. But let's see, this one's kind of wet right now. Let me find the angle for this knife. Okay, all of that, and it's still getting some decent curls off of this very thin bark. So I mean, this is a fighting knife. It even says on the box fighting knife, and I admire Forseti Steel's honesty for that. Do I have anything handy for a vampire deterrent? Not really. Maybe I'll sacrifice another pencil when I get downstairs. But after my technical incompetence, forgetting to erase the card, I declare that this has passed the war post. Okay, folks, we've been to the war post with the Forseti Steel Hector, and I am actually quite pleased with it. It feels fantastic. It held up. As I said, when I was doing the chair thing with it, it did develop a burr, but that's because this thing was almost literally needle sharp, and it was so thin that little bit of it came off, and quite frankly, that probably would have worn off just coming in and out of the sheath, because they had it so sharp. Now I got some paper here, and actually you've seen what it's done, and I haven't touched the edge. And you can see I've been testing a lot of knives. So that's a factory edge. after going through this cardboard several times, and I'll let you get up. Now you can see where the blade kind of went like this when I went in, because it came in a bit deep, and then I had some torque there. And then where did that other cut go? I know there's another cut there. Now this one through the tape is barely noticeable, but it got through the tape and the cardboard. And there was another nice clean cut. I know there was. There it is. This was a nice clean cut. Now this cardboard is thick enough where I really can't show you how deep it went. So I'm going to get out my other knife and see if I can find out what that is. I could use the Hector itself, but okay, this let's see. Yeah, you can see in here. This is a thinner blade, which is why I don't know if you can see in here. Hang on a second. I've got a flashlight right here, and I'll let you see. So that cut there you go. You can see that blade sticking. That cut went all the way through. And in my opinion, that's pretty impressive when you consider the blade is this short. Now, the bite on the drop test and the throw test was not stellar, because I think that the first time I did that, I got that little burr. But also the geometry of the blade. You can see this is made for piercing, and it's not really supposed to stick. It's got this really nice false edge that comes here, and then a hollow grind that comes to a tip. It makes the tip fairly strong, actually. It just, like as I said, it was just slightly over sharpened. And like a fighting knife should be, the thickness of the blade is through here. So you have a really thin blade that's just not going to get a whole lot of friction or I guess it would just be friction to hold it up. And also you've got a kind of a clip point here, and those things are, because of the way the blade will go in, it's nothing. Now I'm not making excuses for the knife. It was kind of weak when it came to bite, but I do attribute a lot to the design, and the design is still good. I got this on special for a little over 60 bucks. It is now back up to 125, and it is worth $125 easily. I really like this thing. I am going to have a sheath made for it eventually when I can get a sheath, when I'm not spending the money I would pay for a sheath for this to buy other knives. But I'm really digging it. I've been wanting this thing for a long time. And I went to this when I went to the Forseti website, and I saw that it was on special. I jumped on it. But as I said, this is a fighting knife. You can see, and if you can read back upside down and backwards, I'm not going to flip it, but it says fighting knife on the box. And as a fighting knife, this is awesome. And as you can see, it did feather stick fairly well. You can make this work as a skinner. The blade shape would work for that, and it's about the right size. You can use, of course, you can, if a knife cuts, you can make it do almost anything purpose-built knives before. It just won't do it as well. This is a fighter. I would even say this is a dueling fighter. I wouldn't call this a combat knife, and there is a difference, and I keep saying that I'm going to write down my ideas of knife definitions and make history, and everybody will use them, I know. But in some bizarro world, if I were challenged to a duel of honor, and I was going to get in a knife-on-knife encounter, and I knew I was going to get in, ahead of time I was going to get in a knife-on-knife encounter, like for instance on a sandbar in New Orleans, there would be like four knives that immediately would come to mind that I have, that I would want to do that duel with. This is one of them. today's EDC personal protection knife, my self-designed and Kukri House made Blessed Warrior fighting knife, would be another. Another one in my EDC rotation, my beloved self-designed Jet Hornbeam make Selkirk fighting knife would be another, and my Gilhibben tactical assault knife, even though I hate that name, would be another. But this, yeah, this is designed for fighting in close quarters. This would be to be used against hostile water bottles and lizardmen, zombie ninjas. But yeah, I am very, very happy with this. I would like to see it do better on the for the bite, but I am sure that anybody at Forseti Steel, if they ever watch this video, they're going to say, "What is that idiot doing with our knife?" Now, I did drop this on concrete, and it nicked the horn handle a tiny bit, but I'm pretty sure I can just kind of buff that out, and that's not the fault of the knife. I should have had, because it was a horn handle, I should have had a towel or some kind of tarp or something underneath my high-tech testing apparatus in case what happened. But this was kind of impromptu. I got up and I had nice weather and I had the time, and I might not have the time to do a video next week, and so I decided just to put this together on the fly. But I am sure that I'm sure that I can buff that teeny tiny little nick out, and it's really not a problem. It's not even a nick. I wouldn't be surprised if I scratched hard enough with my fingernail if it would come out. But Forseti Steel, I am impressed. And as I said, it comes up with a lifetime warranty. It comes with a warranty for things that happen where you're not an idiot. You register it on their website and lifetime sharpening. It comes with a little card that tells you exactly how to take care of it. And it comes with a little vial of oil. And that oil is really good by the time. I think I'm going to buy a full-size bottle and use that on all my better knives. Excuse me. Just a second. As soon as I get the camera off, I'm going to sneeze. But, and also, as I said, this is one of those knives that I just love the look of. It's beautiful, but it's not overly embellished and gaudy. And I'm not usually a fan of Damascus. I don't think it's as good looking and all that as people make it out to be. And hang on a second, I do want to tell you one more thing about it. I gotta look it up here though. What I'm looking up here is how many layers is in the Damascus. Just for shits and giggles, I thought you guys would want to know. And I can give you overall specs while I'm there, because I always forget to give you specs. Because really, if you see the knife perform, and you can see it in my hand, you know how big it is and whether it's any good or not. This is now listing for $125. It has a 10-inch overall length, 4.5-inch blade, 4.5-inch handle, 5.5-inch blade. It's Damascus steel made up of 1095 and 15N20 steel. It is 5mm blade thickness, swirl powder Damascus, 256 layers of steel with a secondary grind bevel, chrome and buffalo horn. So, oh, these aren't aluminum, they're chrome. See, you learn something new when you really look at this again. So, I am going to want to get more Forseti Steel stuff. I really like this. Again, yeah, it could bite better. And also the balance thing. This is a light knife, and but it is handle heavy, meaning the handle makes up a large portion of the weight. And I don't mind that in a fighting knife, because that means that the tip is very nimble. And that's what you want in a fighting knife, because as a rule, when you're fighting lizardmen, zombie ninjas, this means get the hell away from me, and this means die, die, die. Meaning, in any kind of a personal protection situation, the damage comes from the thrust. Not that saying that you can't really, really mess somebody up with slashes. But you want the tip to be nimble enough to get through any Lizardman Zombie Ninja's defenses. So I don't mind it being, weighted towards the handle. As a matter of fact, in a fighting knife, in my opinion, that's desirable. So there you go. Forseti Steel Hector. This is the only Forseti Steel thing I have. I plan on buying more. They make a push dagger that is calling to me. But there you go, folks. Like as I said, warranty. You can get lifetime sharpening service. Good edge retention, excellent steel. As I said, the only, you saw the problematic thing with the drop test and the downward throws. That doesn't really bother me because now the tip is strong. As I said, that burr, I did this and it came off. It was just, when they sharpened it, there was just a little bit of steel left over because it was needle sharp, and it is still like really, really pointy. So there you go. Again, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can have a free download of 7th Blessed Warriors Book 1. As I said, it's not a contest. It is a giveaway, but it's not a contest. Anybody can go in there and do it until Friday. There is no paperback copy. This is a free electronic download. I don't have a paperback done yet. That requires a lot of formatting, and I'm not sure I have the technical skill to do that. But you can go and get that book if you're interested in a family of sword-wielding demon hunters. You guessed it, hunting demons and opposing the resurrected king of Babylon, Nimrod. And with that, I leave you with my usual admonishment to draw your knives only in just purpose, sheathe them only with honor, and to remember that without lives, I always say lives, without knives, life would be dull and pointless. Please like, share, subscribe, and feed the almighty YouTube algorithm. All hail the algorithm. And help the channel grow. To my winner, whose name of my last contest, Todd, I have not mailed the package yet. I haven't had the time to get to the post office. And but I should be able to do that Friday. I've got a lot of other errands to run, and I have to go to the post office for something else. So I will get that out to you Friday. And with that, I bid you goodbye.